Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, we're gonna talk some boxing while I'm inside of the studio doing some studio work. I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about boxing a little bit, okay? So, the example I'm gonna use is Claressa Shields and Layla Ali. So, Claressa Shields is talking about money, all right? She wanna make the fight happen with Layla, but Layla, she thinks, in her opinion, is asking for the lion's share of the money. And as a result of that, Chris is like, that's a no-go, man. I'm a two-time gold medalist. I'm a world champion. I've been in multiple weight classes. I've accomplished much more than Layla Ali has ever accomplished in her career in very few fights. I should get the lion's share of the money. The problem with that is that when we talk A side, B side, uh, Claressa ain't gonna win that argument. She's just not going to. Layla Ali has over the years built up a brand that's much bigger than Claressa's brand right now. You see, A side doesn't only have to do with your accomplishments in the ring. Take, for instance, Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world when he faced Oscar De La Hoya. But Oscar De La Hoya was the pay-per-view king. All right? Oscar De La Hoya was the draw. The reason Claressa Shields versus Layla Ali will be huge is because of Layla Ali. Whether you say that she's riding off her father's name or not, there are two very important things you got to understand why Layla Ali will cash in on this and why she is the A side. One, she was undefeated. Two, many people perceived her to be this undefeated boxer. She was beautiful. Three, and four, she was the daughter of the great Muhammad Ali. I mean, the great Muhammad. The only reason Muhammad Ali is the greatest is not just his boxing. Muhammad Ali transcended boxing and his personality, Layla Ali's personality. I mean, his discussions that had to do with things outside of boxing, the way how he boosted up the black community. Let me give you guys some other points, okay? By the way, before I go on, I am what you need. You're watching my channel. And if you like what you're seeing, if you like what you're viewing, then please smash the like button. You can also comment on this live stream because this is a live stream. You can also share these videos. You can also donate via Western Union or MoneyGram to my channel. I will be very happy to accept any donations that you give me. But back to what I'm saying. Muhammad Ali wasn't just the greatest because he was a great boxer. He was a great boxer. But he lost a lot of fights that a lot of us think he should not have lost, okay? That's not the reason, okay? The reason Muhammad Ali was the greatest is because of his personality, how he put himself out there, how he marketed himself to the world. Not only marketing, but what he believed, how he was able to change not just the face of boxing, but how black people were seen in the world and people of color. Okay, Muhammad Ali was greater. Even if Muhammad Ali was never a boxer, if he was some other superstar out there, Muhammad Ali would have changed the world. He was bigger. I'll give you guys a perfect example of this. You know, a lot of the LDBC community, you know, I think of Ike Sports TV, I think of Dante's Boxing Nation, they talk about and emphasize about race in boxing. How people who are light colored or people who are white, they have the complexion for the protection. Where do you think they got that phrase from? I'm gonna tell y'all now. They got it from Muhammad Ali. He was doing it in an interview in England with an English host. This man was unafraid to say that. In fact, he was unafraid to speak about race on public television. All right? He was endearing. This is a man who, you know, who was funny. He was, you know, he would do whatever it takes to promote a fight, but at the same time, he was edgy. He didn't have a problem scrapping with somebody. Literally, a Muhammad Ali interview was something you could not take your eyes off of. This man was must-see TV. This man had an aura. This man had a way about him. that you could not take your eyes off of him. Whether you hated him or you loved him, you was going to, anything Muhammad Ali said, y'all was going to watch. And the thing about Muhammad Ali is he never said things. He never said things. You know, well, sometimes he said things that weren't true, but most of the time he said nuggets, real serious, sizable nuggets on things. Okay? You know, I remember a time Muhammad Ali, who was antagonistic like hell to Joe Frazier, got Joe Frazier to pick up the host because Ali said to the host, "You antagonizing." And he said, "We two black men and you the white one," and they picked up the white guy physically. Very intimidating. And the audience cheered. We're talking about a white audience. Cheered that shit. But they jacked up the white guy. Because the white guy was trying to lay down the law. He was like, "Man, y'all ain't gonna do this." And it was Ali was like, Joe, look at this dude. Who do you think he is? And they jacked him up and it was like, "Joe, us brothers need to stick together when these brothers do this thing to us," you know? It was so incredible. If you guys have not watched Muhammad, in fact, a lot of things that boxers do today, Muhammad Ali's the guy that popularized it. You know, trash talking has been around forever in the black community, in black boxing, forever. You go back to the days of Jack Johnson, you go back to the days of Sam Langford, you go back to the days of Joe Walcott, not Jersey Joe Walker, Barbados Joe Walker. These guys used to trash talk like shit, okay? Sam McVeigh, etc., okay? And, you know, colored boxing was different to white boxing. Guys used to shit talk. They didn't even shake hands and shit. They trash talk. Trash talking in black boxing. You know, Sam Langford was very much like a Floyd Mayweather or Muhammad Ali. People never gave him the shine. You know, Jack Johnson, he was a little bit more controlled, right? But he used to laugh like hell at the boxers that was trying to come at him. He'd be cracking up while they trying to throw shots at him. He'd be tying them up, slipping them, rolling them. Jack Johnson was one of the smoothest, slickest operators out there. He was a huge man, 6'2", but this motherfucker could move. All right, he could move. You know, if you go and watch film on him, he'd be laughing because these guys be trying to throw punches and he'd be slick, rolling, then he would just tag their ass up. He was slick, okay, for his time. For his time, because them white boys didn't know how to fight at all. They'd just be throwing punches and to be rolling. It was a totally different style. Now, the weird thing about it is Jack Johnson was taught boxing, the slick style of boxing, by a white guy. Because see, a lot of people don't understand. Hit or not get hit wasn't just a black thing. Okay, there was white people who were slick as hell as well. And unfortunately, the really slick white fighters like Caleb Plant, I'm gonna tell you all a couple slick white fighters that a lot of people don't give a lot of shine to. You know, we know Lomachenko guy, he's not necessarily slick, but he's a very good boxer. I wouldn't call him slick. He don't roll punches really, and he don't, you know, he keep his head, you know, stuck on center line. That's why he keep on getting tagged up. You know what I'm saying? Because when he's attacking, his head's down center line. Now it's hard to be slick like Canelo is, and still be attacking a guy. So, you know, it's hard. It really is. You get tagged. Okay, so Lomachenko doing a great job in that respect, but he don't really move his head. Okay, he don't move his head. That's why he keep on getting tagged. He don't really move his head. Every now and then, he don't really move his head. Okay, Pacquiao don't really move his head, but these are aggressive fighters. So it's kind of hard to come off a jab and move your head. So what they do is they come off the jab, because when you're coming off the jab, your head is off center line, and then the rest of your arm kind of protects your head from the punch. Unless the guy come down a different line, and then he could really tag your ass up. But once you're coming off the right angle, you're pretty much protected once you throw a jab. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So, yeah, all the way back, these guys used to trash talk. So, you know, Ali trash talking Joe Frazier and Joe Frazier's feelings being hurt is kind of funny because Joe Frazier, he come from Philadelphia. They are tough guys. Joe Frazier should have known. He shouldn't have been so fucking sensitive because in Philly, them guys also talk trash and they back this shit up. It's not like, you know, Joe Frazier didn't know about this shit. But he personally felt bad because there was a big backlash in the black community concerning him, calling him an Uncle Tom and that shit. And it started to affect his daily life, the trash talk. So he was kind of affected by that. But personally speaking, I mean, if you think about it, Muhammad Ali should know better too, because he was friends with Malcolm X. Malcolm X used to do some shit before he was Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? He used to do exactly what Joe Frazier was doing. You know, Joe Frazier helped the community and stuff too, but Joe didn't see what Muhammad Ali was saying. You know, I'll give you an example of it. So Muhammad Ali was going out with the ring girls, and he was like, nah, I'm not going to let this woman have her butt cheeks and her breasts out there, and she be advertising herself like a, you know, like for people to oogle, you know, she's like a sex object. Fuck that. We need to have respect for a black woman. So you don't really see a lot of black women out there in bikinis walking around the ring, but whatever. Everybody got to get work, right? And nowadays it's different to back then. We say you fit now. They don't, I mean, people be wearing like string ass bikinis, all their butt outside. You know, the only thing covered is the thing that's covered, you know what I'm saying? It's almost, you might as well not wear a bikini anymore, you know what I'm saying? And some of them, you know, they got their straps for their breasts and just covering the nipples and shit like that. And it's messed up as fuck now. And they call that fitness now. They say, oh, she just fit. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad things got. Now, in the ring with Corona and the brand names like Top Rank and shit, they at least kind of try to keep the bikinis in order. But, you know, the motherfuckers still, I mean, they're hardly covered. Let's be real, all right? And where did this bikini thing come from, a ring girl? Well, to be honest with you, back in the days, there was no fucking ring girls, okay? I guess sex and violence. I don't know how it originated. That's a good piece of research we should check into, because they use women as sexual objects. It's very primitive. You know, women have been using advertising to advertise shit because the woman's there, she looks good. So I don't know what to make of that shit. But I know there's women's boxing now, and I don't know if they parade around men. You know what I'm saying, like little gigolos in a bikini bottom and the chest out. Nobody do that shit. So why is it that they only got it one way? You know what I'm saying? You should have ring boys walking around the ring and shit like that. They don't have that, right? I'm just saying. They should have big buff guys walking around. They don't do that shit. So the question to me is, why is it that they only got ring girls? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, y'all may not have thought about that. See, I think about things that y'all ass don't think about. You know, I could probably be a comedian because I see things other people don't see. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So, yeah, I mean, you know, way back in the day, it was like that. So Muhammad Ali, anyway, was talking about how, you know, he's saying, yo, I ain't doing that shit. I ain't going out with no people like that. I don't care if they woman. I don't care if they black or white. I ain't doing that. I ain't going out. It was an exhibition, right? So the promoters was like, man, come on, man. I was like, no, fuck no. He was on the same card with Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier was like, man, we're going out there, man. We're going to do this shit. Ring girls and everything. We're going to. So Muhammad Ali looked at Joe like, man, you just... You know, now that's just an example to show you why Muhammad Ali said he was Uncle Tom. He basically was saying that, yo, you don't understand the subliminal messages you sending to the black people and what you advertising. Now, of course, Joe Frazier's way, you know, continues to propagate today. The only guy who I know don't do that shit, and Troy King actually brought it to our attention, not Troy King, actually Aaron Conley on Troy King's program brought it to our attention, is Andrew Ward. Andrew Ward tried to keep women looking proper. Okay, he Christian, that's the way. But what I'm saying is, if you Muslim as well, that's the way too. You know, you try to have your women get respected, you know what I'm saying? Because they're extension of you and your community, and they are basically the progenitors of a community. Without women, you can't have no fucking community, you know what I'm saying? They make the people. Ultimately, people come through them to make a community. So, you know, it's how you respect, the people who form your community. If you're going to debase them and degrade them, you don't expect your community to rise much higher than that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there, okay? And I hope that we as men will respect the women in the world that are out there. I'm not saying that these motherfuckers don't do shit that's stupid, and men do it too. So let's get there. But I'm just saying, we need to have respect for one another. We need to have respect. Women are different to men. Men are different to women. I'm not saying that in some way, shape, or form we are somewhat equal, should be treated equally in certain ways. In other ways, we are not treated equal because we're not equal. Okay? We're just not. I'm not saying that you better than this person, that person not better than you, but as people, we have different roles and functions. Otherwise, they make men with wombs and shit like that, and women would also have dicks and shit like that. And some of them do, but my point is anyway that that shit is fucked up. It's fucked up. We don't want to go there, right? I'm just saying now. So we are different, okay? We come from two different worlds. We think a bit different to each other. Women can do certain things men cannot do. Men can do certain things women can't do. So to say that we're equal just like that, we should be treated equally, not necessarily making much sense. But I do understand when you're talking about like jobs, motherfuckers should be paid the same way because we're doing the same fucking job. Whether we do it differently is not the question. Leadership, whether it's respect. We all both should be treated with respect. You know what I'm saying? We should all be able to vote. We should all be able to do certain things. But at the same time now, motherfuckers, like boxers should be paid the same. They should be fighting the same number of minutes. There's nothing, as much as people talk about biological and bullshit like that, we look at some of the women who have been great in boxing, take punches and all that shit, and they fine. You know what I'm saying? In fact, from what I learned, women, as much as they scrap harder than men, and they have brain traumas and shit, they seem to do better than men afterwards. A lot of them go on to their careers and lives and whatever, or whatever they do, and they still somehow, some way, even though they get more brain damage than men, they somehow manage to have less sad stories than men do. Maybe to put things in place to ensure that their lives are better. Women can multitask better than men. It's just what it is. They can multitask better than men. We all see it, okay? So there's a lot of things that I would say make women and men different. I talked about some of the pluses. Obviously, men are built different to women. It's the same man, same mass, same size, same height, going to have, generally speaking, a larger bone density because men tend to produce testosterone more than women. Okay, and I was just recently hearing that here's another thing that's pretty interesting. Men, after sex, they are testosterone depleted. So they tend to get tired and shit and all that and want to go to sleep. Whereas women, they get a whole set of fucking energy because their testosterone levels go up. So they're actually physically stronger. When your ass is tired, their ass is strong. So don't fuck with a woman after she's been fucked because she can probably beat your ass, okay? Now, they do get tired too. Everybody get tired after a certain point. But my point is that they operate in a different biological way to men, obviously, okay? That does not mean, that men are superior to them, or it doesn't mean that it's different. That's what I'm trying to say. It's different. It doesn't mean that men are better than women or women are better than men. Women are not better than men. Men are not better than women. But we operate in different ways, and we need to respect that. And stop these fucking women from trying to be men. You're not a man, okay? Be what you are, Yes, you are in a gladiator sport. You're a gladiator. We understand that. But that doesn't mean that you got to proceed to do things like how men do it. And that's the problem I have, The woman, be what you are. I'm a man. Let me be what I am. Now, whether we know what it is to be a man and how to conduct ourselves like a man, that's a totally different story because a lot of us are clueless about that shit. What it is to be a woman and conduct yourself like a woman, a lot of us are clueless about that shit. I put us all in the same boat. Okay, being a man had nothing to do with physically beating down motherfuckers. That doesn't make you a man. Yes, generally speaking, if you're talking about with size and height and weight, a guy generally is supposed to be physically stronger than a woman. We know this. This is just biology. It's what it is, okay? That don't mean she can't whoop his ass. Fair enough. She may have training that he don't have. Fighting is all about knowledge. Fighting is all about getting an edge on your opposition. I've seen a little woman, 4'5", she just threw down her guy 6'3". She took him down like it was nothing, okay? That's because as much as she's smaller and lighter than him, she knows what to do to throw a guy to make him fall, okay? Because she did jujitsu. So a motherfucker that knows jujitsu and your motherfucking ass that might know what, I don't know. She know how to throw you. She know how to make you fall. She know how to grapple you. Motherfucker, you're not gonna win against her. This is common sense. She's an expert in that. She's a black belt, 7th-degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. Motherfucker, you're not gonna win that battle. You're just not gonna do it. This is common sense now. This is coming from a guy who fight. He fought. I did Shidoro, okay, in close fighting. I know if my opponent gets the first move in, it's all about being first. If he gets the first move in and I don't know the counter to that shit, my ass is grass. All right? Some of y'all don't understand fighting. So y'all will say, oh man, I could beat this person. Motherfucker, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. You get into a grandma. Look at the little Japanese and Chinese dudes. They not tall. All them Buddhist monks and motherfucking masters. They're not tall. Jet Li wasn't tall. He was kicking ass. So it's not about height. Y'all gotta understand that. A lot of y'all think y'all can do something. That's your ego talking. You get fucked up so bad. You get fucked up so bad. They got little clips of smaller guys, boxers, hella shorter, little dwarf guys, beating the fuck out of 6-foot tall guys. You know why? Because they know how to fight better than the tall guys. And they probably been fighting tall guys all their life. So you guys need, okay, I was just listening to, I know I'm going off on a tangent. I'm coming back to it. I'm roping it back in. Don't worry about it. I was talking about Muhammad Ali, obviously, and Claressa Shields. I'm going to talk about star power and how people build up their reputation, they build up their brand. That reputation and brand only gets bigger with time because of what we call legacy, legend, because of mythos. People believe this person is what they are. And obviously, when people believe it, the further away they go from that period of time, the more it gets exaggerated. And I'm going to talk about Sugar Ray Robinson for a minute in another video. And I actually put out some posts about Sugar Ray Robinson versus Floyd Mayweather. I told y'all Sugar Ray Leonard was a better fighter than Sugar Ray Robinson. A lot of y'all don't agree with me, but he was. All right, he was a better fighter than Sugar Ray Robinson. I could prove it. Okay, but again, what I'm saying to you guys, because all right, so this is undisputable. Okay, Muhammad Ali brought to the game things that nobody else before him had been able to bring at that level. Sugar Ray Robinson brought to the game things that nobody had ever thought was possible. He basically blew people's minds in his era. Muhammad Ali blew people's minds. He was after Robinson's boy. Okay, Robinson loved Muhammad Ali. Joe Louis did not like him. Joe Louis was the last great heavyweight champion after Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano came after. Both Joe Louis and Rocky Marciano didn't think Ali was all that. Sugar Ray Robinson, he loved Muhammad Ali. And Sugar Ray Robinson was able, before Jack Johnson died, to meet the great Jack Johnson. Okay? And why am I saying all of this? Because Joe Louis went away from what Jack Johnson represented. Joe Louis had to hold the fine line. Joe Louis couldn't trash talk. Joe Louis couldn't do this. He couldn't laugh when he was beating a white guy in the ring. Okay? Muhammad Ali happened to come up in an era where he still fought white guys and he beat their ass. But mostly black people, black athletes were there, and the great athletes were black people. So Muhammad Ali was talking, but he never had to go through what Jack Johnson went through, because the heavyweight championship of the world was held hostage by white people in Jack Johnson's time. And black people were seen, for whatever reason, unsophisticated beasts. They were seen as gorillas. You know, the Darwin's theory was held positive, even by church-going people. To this day, there's a perception by the white community that there's a superior race, mainly because right now they run things in the world. They still, to this day, run things in the world. All right? And no matter where you come from, Europe or wherever part of the world, if your skin a little light, I say a little light because some of them look pale, right? Because of the climate. They come from a climate where your skin gonna be fucking white. Okay? They are a byproduct of the environment. You go up in the cold. If I go up right now to Alaska, my complexion, you see how my complexion look nice and rich and rosy and brown? My complexion's gonna change. I'm gonna get pale. Why? Because it's fucking cold, ninja. Okay, the sun's gonna come out in Alaska, but it's gonna be cold as shit. So what's gonna happen to me? My blood's not gonna circulate on the top of my skin as much. It's gonna stay in my core to keep me warm, my vitals. The reason my skin looks like this is because of my blood circulating to my skin. It looks nice and young and supple and shiny because the blood is circulating to my skin. And as the blood circulates to my skin, the melanin in my skin, its pigmentation gets nice, rich, rosy, and dark. It's not that we don't have the same amount of melanin. Everybody got the same amount of melanin. It's just that it's not getting the kind of nutrients it want to get. It's not the sun, because the sun still comes out in Alaska every day. It's the circulation. So when you've been in that climate for so long, that's what happens. Now, listen, just so you guys know, race is one of the most funniest things in the world. All right, it's the funniest thing. It's not, first of all, scientific. All right. So you got, everybody, if somebody sees somebody light skinned, the lighter skin you are, it's interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Especially if I see a white person with blue eyes or green eyes that look like crystals, and it's beautiful. All right. There was a time I didn't think white people were beautiful, but that's another story for another day. But it's beautiful to watch. Okay. You end up, heading down. You look at white people in the tropics. Come on now. They got a little sun on them, a little sun on them. They start to get a little bit bronze, a little bit brown. They like to say they're getting a tan. Okay. Why? Because it's a reaction to the circulation in your body. The blood is circulating such now that you don't have to keep it in your core. So your skin is not pale anymore. So people call evolution and genes. I talk adaptation. And if you know anything about epigenetics, I know I'm going off on a tangent, but bear with me, because I want you guys to understand race is bullshit. We're all the same. We just adapted differently to different climates and different places. And so for generations, you may have light-skinned, light-toned people or kids. But if they stay in the sun long enough, they're going to get darker, especially if you're in the tropics. The white people in the tropics are different to the white people if they stay in the sun, that is. If they're in the sun, you swear some of them are Eastern European, you think they're Middle Eastern, or they're black. You can confuse a white person for a black person. There's some really, really light-skinned black people, okay? And you could get confused by it. See, there's no such thing as a white person, first of all. Ain't nobody white, literally the color white. Ain't nobody that color. I call white people really light-skinned people. And then you got the darker skinned people. Ain't nobody that black. Don't let anybody fool you. There's nobody that's black. Now, let's talk about it. Chocolate and vanilla. Do you not like vanilla? A lot of people love vanilla. A lot of people like chocolate. It's your preference. It's your taste. You mix chocolate and vanilla together, don't it taste great? You get the best taste ever. So what the fuck is wrong with people, man? White pride, we need to preserve the white race. What the fuck are you talking about? It's gonna be there long after you're gone, because there's people who are gonna be living in cold climates. It's always gonna be there, motherfucker. Unless the world heats up, and then we got you know how you can keep the right way, the white race going, motherfucker? Preserve your ecosystems and your environment so that you don't melt the polar caps out and the ends of the earth, so the earth can maintain a certain temperature, because the earth's getting hotter, motherfucker. So that's how you preserve the white race. Okay, but see, these people, they want to freeze time, and they want to keep everything one way. But world changes, information changes. That's why it's bullshit when they talk about race. It's bullshit. Let me give you a good example. Now you got different cultures. That's different. You know, you have different genealogies. That's different. That shit is different. But race is bullshit. It's bullshit. People being judged based on the color of their skin is bullshit. We have to celebrate diversity. A motherfucker will talk different to you. One motherfucker will be saying, I come from India, okay? You think the East Indian person is different to you? Yes, he's different to you. We're not all the same. He's different to you. You got different features and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, he come from a different culture. He may have a different religion than you, but motherfucker feel the same way inside. What do I mean by that? He also needs attention and affection and love. He also needs to communicate with other people. He can't live by himself in a bubble. He's going to laugh. He's going to cry. He's going to get mad. Right? He's going to use his cerebral cortex to choose and make decisions. And you say, well, the lower animals do all of that. Sure they do. But if you look globally throughout the world, as westernization sort of affected it and easternization affected it, you see they got universities, everybody can study, they can become intellectuals, everybody can do it. And with the World Wide Web, we know, and we're getting information and knowledge from different people. So what the fuck, man? What the fuck? People are beginning to see past all this bullshit. Okay, we are human beings. Now, we need to respect one another. That's why with black people, the black community in America especially, they speak about it. And in South Africa, etc., you need to respect the black people. That's why we had Black Lives Matter. Put some respect on them. Put some respect on black people. Don't be treating them like, oh, yeah, like, just like a cockroach just died yesterday. Oh, yeah, but that a black person died. No, motherfucker, if you really care, that's going to be something that's horrific. You'd be like, not just like, white person get killed. And it's like, oh, my God, that's the worst thing in the world. But when it's a black person, you don't give a fuck. Come on, man. Every life matters. And if every life matters, then black lives matter, too. And you motherfuckers have not been looking at it that way. And stop with your indifference on shit. A black person just got beat up by the cops. Oh, yeah, he probably was a convict or something. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. And even if he was a convict, did the police proceed in the right way? Did they? Are they supposed to be beating the shit out of convicts? Are you cool with that? Let's say that convict was your brother. You cool with that? And he was a white dude. You cool with that? Oh, they make so much noise over that shit. So that's what we're talking about. And for those people who are talking about nationalism and we need to keep everything, man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Okay? Stop it. Stop it. You're being immature. You're behaving like a child. You're not behaving like an adult. Stop with the white supremacy bullshit. It's bullshit. Hitler tried, and he ended up taking his own damn life. Okay? Because he's stupid. Okay? It was the stupidest premise. He could have done things. He could have shaken the world. He could have shook up the place because, Germany had economic problems. The rich was getting richer. The poor was getting poorer. He could have been that dude. He was charismatic and everything to turn things around and equalize the playing field. Instead, he decided to conquer and sweep and take, which is bullshit. It don't work. It never works. All right? And that's what white people are learning. They conquer this, they conquer that, then they're depressed. They go out there, some of them, they go out there and they had to master their fears. So they go jumping off of cliffs and all kinds of crazy ass shit. Because why? Because their mindset is to conquer and oppress and test out and experiment on the shit. So what do you expect? I said some of them, not all of them. Okay? We all know all white people are not like that. Okay, so at the end of the day, my question is: are you out for thrills and stuff, empty pleasure, empty thrills, or you just realize I could just turn to my brother right next to me, a fellow human being, and see if I can help him be better and how he wants to be better? That's all we gotta do. Shit, we don't have to go jumping off of cliffs and all that kind of shit to master affairs. Why don't we just try communicating with one another? That is real simple. Everybody got different opinions. Everybody got different ways they want to proceed with things. So yeah, back to men and women. So men and women in boxing, they gladiators. All of them are fighters. They have a certain mindset, which you and I don't have. Okay, so let them fight. If they want to fight 3 rounds, let them fight 3 rounds. It is a blood sport anyway. They do bloody their faces anyway. They still take punishment anyway. And this is what they want to do. Let them do it. I don't understand. What's the problem? You know, even if you have mixed boxing fights in which men are fighting women and women are fighting men, they all gladiators. They all take a punch. If they want to do it, let them do it. People getting tripped out. You think, okay, so they think every fight a woman's gonna beat a man or a man's gonna beat a woman. No, it don't work like that. It's not a battle of the sexes kind of bullshit. It's 2 people getting in the ring and getting it on. Okay, if they want to get it on, let them get it on. Okay, don't be banning shit. What are you censoring for? They paid to get in there and do what they want to do. If that's what they want to do, let them do it. UFC do it. What's the difference between UFC and boxing? Nothing. Boxing is exclusively, you're punching with your hands. You're not kicking and stuff. I don't see no problem with it. Okay, but a lot of people tie their sexual being to this shit. Oh, I'm macho for a man. Now you try to soften up the spot. So if a woman beat a man, oh, they taking over. What the fuck is that? What kind of fucking stupid ass shit is that? They're not taking over anything. It just so happened in that fight with that man and that woman, the woman won the fight. It don't mean they're going to happen for all fights. I mean, come on, man. It's like the reasoning behind this shit is so stupid. But see, there are a lot of people who just can't think past that. That all they can see is man versus woman, dog versus cat, bee versus wasp. They think very simply. They're not seeing, just using an example here, Jose Luis Ramirez versus Amanda Serrano. They're not seeing that shit. They see man versus woman. Ramirez, he gonna beat Serrano to a post, so she outboxes his ass. What are you gonna do now? She wins the fight. What are you gonna do now? Everybody talk about Billie Jean versus whatever the guy's name was that she fought in tennis. Listen, man, look. All Billie Jean was showing is that, hey man, we could have mixed tennis. Y'all against this shit and men are so superior and bullshit, but we could have mixed tennis. That's all it was about. She was fighting for that. That's it. It wasn't about women conquering men and all this. These motherfuckers, man, it's like racism, like I said before. It's like racism and white supremacy. Oh, if black people get in there and they prove us wrong, then our whole civilization is dead and it's gone through. So they had to try and get somebody, a white hope, to beat Jack Johnson so they could say that, white boxing. Now, boxing is dominated by minorities, dominated by it. You have now and there, here and there, really good white boxer like, Triple G. And they still trying to say that the Eastern Europeans dominate boxing. They glad Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder. And Tyson Fury's like, man, look, man, that's Deontay Wilder, my bro. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm a gypsy. And they never really liked me in the first place. I'm a traveler, ninja. This had nothing to do with white. I just so happen to be white, but motherfucking gypsies can be any color. Tyson Fury had a different attitude to it. I rock with my Tyson Fury. I rock with him because he's Tyson Fury. He's not just a white dude. He just so happens to be a white dude. And I respect that. I respect that he's white. I respect the man got skills. See, black people are people who don't just rock with people just because they white or black. You know what I'm saying? They rock with people because, and Tyson Fury's slick as fuck. We rock with people because they're good. They don't see race like how white people see race. They don't even see nationality like how white people see nationality. Why should I be rocking with Tyson Fury? But every fucking ass white person who sees me talking about Deontay Wilder and the glove gate, they say because he black. See, because you're stupid. Because you're blinded by your fucking racism. I don't have a problem saying that. Because you gotta rock with the white guy because he's good. Nothing's wrong with rocking with the white guy. But why you gotta put down the black guy? There's a difference between shit talking and you actually believe that white people somehow are superior. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the shit that we had to deal with. Oh, black people, they in sports because, you know, white people left sports. White people now, they're doing more important things, more intellectual things. Sports is not intellectual. We learned today that sports and art are the only two disciplines where you have to think outside the box and be creative. You don't do that on your job. Some people intellectually in academy and institutions of learning and research, they do that. They have to troubleshoot and stuff. They say that's the hard work. I'm like, but the problem with that is the curve could be so much higher if you motherfuckers actually become creative and actually problem shoot in an environment where you're relaxed and you're enjoying yourself. If you are somebody who loves knowledge and research, you really love it, you're going to excel at it. Because where your passion lies. And you'll be surprised. Boxing is the thing where the rubber meets the road. It's highly intellectual. It's highly cerebral. It's not just going out there and just throwing punches. And it translates. Whereas in sometimes in research, it's a more theoretical. You really don't know what the fuck's going on, but you're saying, well, this is more likely what is going on. We're going to test it and see, and we're going to probe and test it and see and probe and test it and see with different conditions. This is kind of, I think, what most likely is going on here. But really and truly, I'm just using a small little voice. It doesn't mean anything, okay? Sometimes when I think about thoughts, they're like that. But what I'm saying to you guys is this. I'm not saying the boxer's mind, that same kind of thought process isn't going on. Yeah, okay, yes, what you're doing, I see what you're doing, that's what I'm gonna do here. Kind of automatically, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that my point anyway, without going off, because I'm going way off topic. We're talking about Muhammad Ali, we're trying to bring it back to star power, but we won't get there, okay? But we're off course to say this. I'm saying that intellectually speaking, if you love that's what you love research and shit, and you be trying. And by the way, this is what I'm gonna say. By the way, even when you use controlled conditions and experiment and it works out for you, you're still shooting in the dark, because think of your body. In vivo, there's so many different processes. And there's so many different functions for one given protein that goes through several different pathways. And then think of these proteins interacting with networks of other molecules and organelles and so on. It's like a shot in the fucking dark with research to actually, all you know to explain it. This is what I'm trying to say. It's a shot in the dark to really explain it, you know, because you don't really know the exact process. Processes are so bendable and shapeable and flexible. You just try to explain the outcome based on controlled conditions. All right, but honestly speaking, you can't really say. You just relate it to in vivo. When you look at different things, you freeze frames different things. You take snapshots of different things in time. You know, there are certain things that you can use, dyes and so on, to see if those, you know, systematic processes are actually operating the way that we say they are, and track them. But just like with an electron, you really don't know where an electron is at any point in time and space. There's a probability of where it is. And all these mathematical maps. So I'm not saying this not because, listen, this is the cool thing about the internet and learning now today. You can learn almost any discipline from scratch with the internet because so many different people have broken down so many different things that now in this age of information, the superhighway, you can learn anything. You could be an expert at anything given enough time, how quickly you can pick it up. And the kids today are next level because they can pick up anything. You can learn to play the violin in about 3 months, depending on how fast you can pick up things. The kids today, they can learn to play the violin and do it almost excellently in 3 fucking weeks. That's the learning curve these kids have now today, thanks to the internet and just the way how information is relayed in simple forms. Back to what I'm saying now. So we're gonna go all the way back, and we're talking about sports. I went off on sports being something where you learn. Your learning curve is actually greater than probably an arts, greater than anything else you may have learned in your life, because you're always challenged to see new ideas, new concepts, and also push your mind beyond what your mind would normally do because you're so love it, you're driven to do it. If you're driven to do research, the same thing. You'll excel in it. Okay, but that was proxy off of the fact that I was saying that a lot of people who are racist, they think that sports and arts are things which are for people who are of lesser mind, but that is not true. And then going a little bit further back, we were talking about Jack Johnson. We were talking about how he was a guy that was a mentor of Sugar Ray Robinson. And Sugar Ray Robinson was able to feel that energy and that connection and talk and have a conversation with this great man who is a great defensive wizard, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, if not the greatest heavyweight of all time, when you think about the conditions he went through. He can be argued as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. And he set the foundation for Muhammad Ali, who was sort of mentored and supported by Sugar Ray Robinson. So he wasn't supported by Joe Louis. He wasn't supported by Rocky Marciano. He was supported by Sugar Ray Robinson. So you see the connection. Now, I did a post on that. I don't know if you guys really understood or respected what I was doing, but I was showing you guys pictorially the progression from generation to generation. You know, just recently there I saw a video on BT Sports with Floyd being interviewed by a former Manchester footballer, and Floyd was talking about the guys who were his heroes and the guys he watched, and one of them was Sugar Ray Leonard. And again, if you look at the chain of events and the passing of the torch, it goes like this: Jack Johnson to Sugar Ray Robinson. Even though they banned him from boxing and all of that, he was able to pass the torch to Sugar Ray Robinson before he died. Sugar Ray Robinson to Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali to Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard to Floyd Mayweather. Okay? Not Sugar Ray Leonard to Pernell Whitaker. Not Sugar Ray Leonard to Roy Jones Jr. Not even Sugar Ray Leonard to Oscar De La Hoya. Sugar Ray Leonard jumped all the way down to Floyd Mayweather. Interesting. I've never seen a shot of Sugar Ray Leonard and Pernell Whitaker actually together, which is interesting. But one of the more interesting things to me is that Pernell Whitaker was able to actually, Floyd wasn't as close to Sugar Ray Leonard as he was to Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker took Floyd under his shoulders somewhat. He wasn't his mentor. He was Zav Judah and DeMarcus Corley's mentor, which incidentally, both guys faced Floyd Mayweather. All right? Both were southpaws. Both gave Floyd some problems. A lot of people do not understand how good Zav Judah was. He did not live up to his potential, no doubt about that. But as a fighter, I think mentally he wasn't quite where he should have been. Skill-wise, incredible fighter. And he had power. And Corley also had power. I mean, I'm going off on a tangent, bear with me. I know we're talking about passing down knowledge, but Zav Judah had power with it. Corley had power with it. Both Corley and Zav Judah fought everyone. You know, there are a few fighters that Zav did not face, but he faced everyone. Corley faced everyone. It's sort of the Pernell Whitaker mindset. I'm going to face everybody. Win, lose, or draw, I'm going to face everybody. And these guys went through generations of people facing them, right? Um, but with tough guys, tough fighters. Whitaker was a tough fighter, but he was mentored by Whitaker's son. And if you ever look at any picture of Floyd and Pernell together, Floyd had this boyish look and this boyish grin on his face every time he took a picture with Pernell Whitaker. In fact, when Floyd talks about his top 5 greatest fighters of all time, or pound for pound fighters of all time, is Roberto Duran after himself, and then Pernell Whitaker. You know, that's how highly he rates Pernell Whitaker in his book. He has Julio Cesar Chavez after, and then he has Muhammad Ali. He puts Muhammad Ali in there at number 5. Of course, Muhammad Ali is the only big guy that's in there. Everybody else is small guys. And if you think about it, Floyd would be biased towards small guys because small little men that went up and challenged bigger dudes, that's what Floyd did. He patterned himself after these guys. Roberto Duran, Pernell Whitaker, Julio Cesar Chavez, right? Yeah. Okay, Muhammad Ali was also a small guy. He came up from cruiserweight, started fighting heavyweights, but Floyd doesn't really know that. But anyway, he put Muhammad Ali on that list because Muhammad Ali influenced him, his father, everybody. Okay, Muhammad Ali was the gold standard of boxing, and Muhammad Ali was bigger than boxing. Fuck that. He was the gold standard of athletics. In fact, fuck that. Muhammad Ali was a personality of personalities. Other than Superman symbol, Muhammad Ali came next. Jesus Christ, Superman, Muhammad Ali. That's how it went. Okay, he was big. And Floyd, if you look at Floyd patterned himself after Muhammad Ali. Floyd patterned himself after Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson was in real estate. Floyd was in real estate. Sugar Ray Robinson said, people said of Sugar Ray Robinson, he painted a perfect picture. Floyd said he painted a perfect picture of himself. Sugar Ray Robinson was dubbed pound for pound number 1 in the world. Floyd said he's TBE. Sugar Ray Robinson was a guy that could box forward, backward. He was pretty. He was beautiful in the ring. Floyd was called Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather. I mean, you look at it, he patterned himself after these guys. He idolized them. He loved them. He watched, Roger Mayweather was a huge Sugar Ray Robinson fan. So I'm sure Floyd was looking at Sugar Ray Robinson. He mentioned Sugar Ray Robinson's name and Sugar Ray Leonard. So when he said that I'm going to be better than Sugar Ray Robinson, it's like these young cats saying I'm going to be better than Floyd Mayweather. I mean, if you idolize a guy, obviously you're going to want to be better than him, right? You want to be the next guy. So I mean, Muhammad Ali was just, all the antics that Floyd has today, all the stuff that he talks today, Muhammad Ali. Okay, just what it is. It's just what it is. Muhammad Ali, in fact, changed the face of boxing forever. Okay. So why I go back to Muhammad Ali and why he is the greatest, because I'm talking about his daughter, is because Muhammad Ali to this day is considered the greatest because he built, not just in the boxing ring, but outside of the boxing ring, he built a stardom that could not be matched. It started off with people hating him. They hated him. Okay, they hated Ali. He was just talking so much. He would talk. Same thing like Floyd Mayweather, right? Talk. But he back it up in the ring. Okay, he back up his shit. And so Howard Cosell didn't like him, and he was talking too much. And a lot of guys challenged him. So people said, your name is not Muhammad Ali, it's Cassius Clay. And he beat that motherfucker until the 7th round. He said, oh yeah, you're Muhammad Ali. Okay. Now, my point being that Muhammad Ali built that though. It took a lot of effort and time and sacrifice and fights to build that cachet, to build that reputation, to build that star power. So to this day, people talk and quote Muhammad Ali all the time, and people don't realize it's Muhammad Ali that said these things. That's why he's the greatest. That's why it's going to be hard for somebody to come and match that, because he was the pioneer. He popularized, he reshaped fucking boxing. He not only reshaped boxing, he reshaped athletics, he reshaped sport. Okay? Ali came from the troubled 70s period when the Black Power movement was getting really powerful. Stokely Carmichael, Malcolm X, etc. Muhammad Ali came from that era. So if you guys can understand that, Muhammad Ali changed sports forever. Okay? And then his comeback was crazy. He lost his fight to Joe Frazier. That made him only more popular because at the time, people who were opposed to the war and people who were for the war, the corporate society was at loggerheads with the average person. Doesn't remind you of our times now. And what you find is that Muhammad Ali was the face, the hope for non-corporate society. And what ended up happening, he lost the fight, but and corporate society won. That's how it looked. Joe Frazier represented them. And whether Joe Frazier thinks he's an Uncle Tom or not, he represented the wrong side. He was representing the status quo. And people at the time was questioning the status quo because JFK got assassinated. Martin Luther got assassinated. Muhammad Ali was the voice of the resistance. He was the voice of the revolution. He encompassed not just black community anymore. He encompassed white community, the hippies and those kinds of guys, the younger people, the younger generation. He represented them. So that people don't understand that's how big Muhammad Ali was. And to this day, even these hypocritical people like Skip Bayless, who praise Muhammad Ali and then he tries to castigate Floyd Mayweather, because everything that Muhammad Ali represents, Skip Bayless goes against it. The fucker goes against it, okay? He targets black athletes and he attacks them. LeBron James, Floyd Mayweather, outstanding people, and he tries to pit them against guys like Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali. The divide and rule bullshit that Muhammad Ali called out the white announcer on, and he and Joe Frazier picked his ass up. Okay? The same bullshit that announcer was doing, trying to pit Ali against Joe Frazier, black on black crime, which these motherfuckers are really the instigators of. Black and black crime didn't just happen. Black people didn't just start attacking black people. No, these motherfuckers came in, brought their drugs in from South Latin America, and had these guys doing turf wars. That's how that bullshit happened. Anyway, we're gonna go back to that another time. So, and then they took the black revolutionaries out of communities and had them put into jails and stuff. Man, we don't even want to talk about this shit. So back to what I was saying. Muhammad Ali, man, he talked out all this shit. He started spelling it out so that the white community would understand. And the white community at the time was receptive to listening to that stuff because he came from the turbulent 70s, where the white community was fighting for something and the black community was alongside them. Because the white community was against the war. It was like, what we going to Vietnam for? That's a country way out there. They ain't troubling us, but what the fuck are we getting involved in that for? And what we were doing, bombing the shit out of the Vietnamese. Trying to overpower their ass. Wasn't right. Korean War wasn't right. What the fuck we doing trying to police a place and we didn't even understand what's going on? No, it was for our vested interests. The U.S., that is. Not mine. So my point is that that's what makes Muhammad Ali so great. When he says, I am the greatest, he's not talking just about boxing. He's the greatest athlete ever. And it's because he went beyond athletics. Like Ali said, them boxers would go out there and say, and you hear comedians now in the comic circles talk like that. They talk about athletes that way. They borrowed from Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was one of the greatest comics to ever grace the stage of comedy. Nobody gives him credit for that. He was a great comic. He would tell you some things that was hard for you to hear if he was serious. But he spiced it up with jokes. One of the greatest. Muhammad Ali goes beyond fucking boxing, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to come back to you guys in a minute because Layla Ali was a beneficiary of that. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in a second. Hold on a second. Okay, so let's keep it going. Again, what you get from my channel is a little bit different to what you would get from other channels. See, a lot of people don't want to talk about star power, A side and B side. So let me tell you how Layla Ali, her price and value go up. One, the Ali brand. Layla represents that. So you got to pay for that. You're going to have to pay for the Ali brand. Starting. That's just starters. All right? You're paying for Ali to come into the ring. It's an Ali. Okay? She wasn't just any Ali. She was one of the most successful women boxers of all motherfucking time. You're not just paying for Muhammad Ali. You're paying for a woman who backed that fucking name up. Almost dominant in her era. That was blood, sweat, and tears. Claressa Shields got to understand she's now building her brand. The Shields brand don't mean shit right now in the world. She's great. She's broken records already. She the GOAT. But it don't compare to the brand of Ali. It just don't. You got to pay for that shit. So Layla knows what she's saying because she's a businesswoman. She's a CEO of her own company. She knows branding. And ain't no way she gonna step in the ring with you who ain't established yourself yet as a brand like that. You don't have generational brand power. If another Mayweather goes into the ring and is successful, he carries along the Mayweather brand. He carries along Roger Mayweather's brand, Floyd Sr.'s brand, Jeff Mayweather's brand, and Floyd Mayweather's brand. His value goes up the more successful he is. Y'all got to understand that. That's just the way how it works. Okay? So you carry in that cachet, and then she was extremely successful, undefeated, fought Fraser. I think Jessie Fraser was her name. That's another brand. That's what made the fight so big. That's why they made so much money. It's the brand. You're going to have to pay for the brand. Blood, sweat, and tears brought into that brand. It's a great brand. It's the greatest brand in all boxing. The Ali name. You're going to pay for that shit. She shouldn't be just asking you for the lion's share of the money. She should get $1 million for the fight. She should get $1 million. It's the Ali name, motherfucker. You got to put some respect on that name. That alone. Muhammad Ali didn't just do wealth. He did generational wealth. It trickled down to his kids. There's value in that. And then she was the most... If she wasn't, she was one of the most successful women boxers in boxing. Ninja, you have to pay for that, Claressa. You got to pay for that shit. One of the most dominant women boxers in boxing at her time. You're going to have to pay for that. So if she say, I want a lion's share of the money. If she say, I want $1 million for this fight, you got to pay her. 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 Then she hadn't been boxing in a while, and she gonna have to leave boxing, sacrifice, have a couple tune-up fights before then. You gonna have to pay her, man. You gonna have to pay her. Like I said, Oscar De La Hoya called all the shots against Floyd Mayweather. But all you youngins, all you young boxers feel you could just call the shots just like that. You still on the up and up, Claressa. So you ain't even had 10 fights. You did a lot. You did great. You never gonna be the A side against Layla Ali. That's a battle you lost already. If you really want to fight, you give her what she wants. Then you beat her ass. You tell her, well, this is now 2020. You know, we was back in the 90s and the 2000s. This is a different era, different time. And whoop her ass. Now you take that cachet. Now you have the Ali name under you. You got to think like that. Now you call the fucking shots in women's boxing because you just beat a legend. You beat a legend. That's how you have to think, Claressa. You can't be thinking like, you know, y'all just want everything now. You ain't done enough to surpass a name. This is a name. Stardom is not about. Stardom is not about just what you do in the ring. Floyd did some incredible things in the ring. He was pound for pound #1 in the world, like I said before. But Oscar was the name. You want the name, come get it. Do whatever it takes to get the name. If he says, we're going to wear this size gloves, if he the A size, he calling all the shots, you got to take that. You got to take whatever they tell you. Because she called the shots, not you. She don't need you. You need her. She don't need you. She just answering the call. She don't need you. She coming out of retirement to face you. She don't need you. You need her. Whatever she called, if you really want to fight her, whatever she called, you're going to say, yeah, ain't going to happen. We're going to make it happen. Whatever she called. Once it's reasonable. So Claressa Shields need to understand, don't be talking no money in here. She want to be the A side. Motherfucker, she should be the A side. You gotta have a sense of reality, Claressa. I'm with you. I'm rocking with you. I think you will win the fight. But come on now. Don't be talking money. You ain't ready. You ain't ready to face an Allie. Allie's name is big in the world. Nobody know your name like that. Shields is not known in the world. You basically unknown. The people now starting to get to know you. You know what will make this fight big? Not you. Ali. Ali gonna make this fight big. When they hear Laila Ali, it's over. So Claressa Shields need to get a sense of reality and understand the sport. All right, when people give blood, sweat, and tears to the sport, they perform at the highest level in whatever era they in. And on top of that, they got a legacy behind them. They got a name, a brand behind them. You ain't gonna win this argument. Whatever she called for, you have to give her. If you're serious, you can't even dispute this shit. You don't have that reputation. You don't have that reputation. The world knows Laila Ali. The world knows Muhammad Ali. And even if they don't know Laila Ali is his daughter, once they hear the name Ali and boxing, they gonna know what that is. Could be his daughter, it could be him. She huge in the world. You are now getting to be recognized. You are a little gnat. She is an elephant. You can't tell the elephant what to do, okay? And that's what people don't understand, A side and B side. This ain't about, oh, Ali don't want to face me. She calling too much. She pricing herself out. Fuck no. She's telling you the reality of the situation. Are you willing to bring out that cash? If you want to beat me, if you want to live off my name, you're going to pay me to live off my name. Okay? First of all, you calling me out of retirement. I'm 40-something years old. Okay? I ain't boxing 12 years. Okay? I got a name, a reputation that's known worldwide. You gonna just come and just take that off of me for chump change? If you think you're gonna win? Everything's going against me. Everything's favoring you. Okay, I'm gonna prepare like a motherfucker. I'm gonna make sure I can beat you. But the point is, even if I beat you, the whole reason that I beat you, it adds to my name, yes, but not a whole lot because you're not that big. You're not that big. You don't have the name Frazier. You don't have the name Foreman. You know George Foreman's children box too. You don't have that name. You don't have that cachet to call shots. You Shields. The world's now getting to know you. You are not known like that. So shut your mouth up. And if you really want this fight, if you really want this work, you call me out. I didn't call you out. I said I would beat your ass, but you called me out. I didn't call you out. You called me out. I didn't call you out. Why you call me out? Because my name is known. Because I am known. You ain't known like that. You want to get known. You calling me out. I didn't call you out. So she has to understand, you calling me out. I can't be ducking you if you call me out. You got to follow through. You got to make it happen. You got to make it worthwhile for me because I don't need you. You need me. I'm doing fine. I don't need you. I live off the alley name. I got rep because of the alley name. I got rep because of what I did in the game to validate that alley name, to keep that alley name as authentic. What do you do? What do? You're not making something for yourself. Nobody knows you. They know me. They don't know you. Why should I give some change for my value? My value is way above your value. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, my value is way above your value. So you got to make it worth my while to want to go out there and face you. You got to make it worth my while. You're the one calling me out. I'm not calling you out. You calling me out. Okay? So if you're so hungry to get in a fight with me, you gonna make it happen. Whatever I say, you gonna make it happen. Once it's reasonable, you gonna make it happen. You gotta pay for my brand. You're gonna have to pay for my name to get me in the ring with you, because the whole world gonna watch it because of me. Not because of you, because of me. The boxing community and the boxing world know you. The world knows me. Okay? You gotta make it worthwhile for me to face you. See, that's what she don't understand that shit. She don't understand that. You're dealing with a heavy hitter. You're not dealing with some small fry. You're dealing with a heavy hitter. She don't need you. You need her. So you could become a heavy hitter. So your reputation can be boosted. Because even if you lose to Layla Ali, let's say it's a close fight, you lose to her, you face the great Layla Ali. Everybody know Layla Ali. Your name attached to that now. So you get some shine. Right? You get some shine. But come on now. This is boxing, but y'all gotta understand boxing. See, a lot of y'all don't understand boxing. All right? Y'all don't understand boxing. See, and then y'all gonna say, oh, you favor Layla Ali. No. I said Claressa will whoop her ass. This is a different time, different era, it's a different generation. She can whoop her ass. But this is a separate topic. This is about Claressa saying that Ali is outpricing herself. Ali ain't outpricing herself. You just don't understand boxing, Claressa. You just appeared yesterday on the scene. People getting to know you. She is known as a legend. The whole reason you even calling her out or even mentioning her in any sentence is because she a legend. The fact that she even mentioned you in a sentence really helped you. Because the whole world gonna be watching her. The whole reason this fight even is being considered big is because she even mentioned, she troubled herself to mention you in a sentence. She made you relevant. Y'all gotta understand boxing. Y'all don't understand boxing. Y'all be talking, oh, Layla pricing herself. She's not pricing herself out. Her value is way above Claressa's value. It's just what it is. If you say, you don't even have to mention her first name. If you say the boxer Ali, everybody go to Muhammad Ali, obviously, right? Then you say, you know about his daughter, Layla Ali? See? Because the whole world now will listen to Layla Ali because you just mentioned the word Ali. That brand has so much power, and that's why I spent so much time talking about Ali. That once you just put Layla, and then you say she was undefeated. Well, yeah. The people are like, duh. She's Muhammad Ali's daughter, duh. The average person gonna start talking like that. The average person going, and they may look at her fights or whatever, or they just might go on. I'm like, yeah, like father, like daughter. You know what I'm saying? Trained by the great Roger Mayweather. Come on, man. Y'all gotta be like y'all tripping, man. The late great Roger Mayweather, who trained Floyd Mayweather. Oh my God. Come on. Y'all crazy, man. Y'all tripping. So at the end of the day, you put those names together, it just pushes the value up. Who's Claressa Shields trained by? I don't know. Great trainer. Great trainer. Nobody's saying no. But that trainer is not even on the level of a Mayweather. Again, brand name. Ali trained by Mayweather. Let me say that again. Ali trained by Mayweather. What are the two most relevant names in boxing today? Ali and Mayweather. These are the names in boxing right now. So, I mean, Claressa Shields, come on, man. You got to be out of your fucking mind. I mean, you got to be out of your mind, girl. Seriously, ma'am. Champ, you got to understand, you got to pay for that shit. You got to pay for it. I'm sorry. You got to pay for it. This is business, right? Boxing is business. You're going to have to pay for that. You lucky she's just saying $500,000, $700,000 or the lion's share of the money. Listen, man. Listen. You got to pay her for that. Her name transcended 12 years. Anybody talks about boxing, women's boxing, Layla Ali's name's going to come up. You got to pay for that. I'm sorry. You got to pay for that. You got to pay for that. So if she said the lion's share of the money, and she didn't say $2 million or some shit like that, then just give her. Give her the money, beat her ass, and then you can call for $1 million prices. You could call for big money. That's how Mayweather did it. He beat Oscar, and then he paid. Then he did his thing, okay? Sugar Ray Leonard, was getting paid good money and stuff. But Sugar Ray Leonard really started to really make the money after he beat Thomas Hearns. Not even after he avenged Duran. He started making money when he beat Thomas Hearns. That's where he got his rep. Okay? Y'all got to understand, man, and again, I'm not trying to talk about it's all about the money. But you got to respect and put a value on people's careers and reputation. She has a reputation. Then she has an incredible career on top of that. You've got to put a price that's comparable to that. You got to put value to that. These people bust their ass. She retired from boxing. What's her incentive to come back to boxing? It got to make sense. It got to make money. Got to make sense. Floyd Mayweather came back to boxing because it made money. It made sense. Conor McGregor was calling him out. It made money. It made sense. Why would you come back to boxing again and put yourself through all that training and stuff? When you have a reputation, you built a career, man. She built a career. This is different. This is not like she just started off in boxing so you can give her chump change. She built a career, man. She has a legacy behind her. We all know she ain't gonna come back for something that's chump change. She's gonna come back for something that's, lucrative. She's gonna leave her civilian lifestyle, She's gonna have to go back and train. Okay, and on top of that, now after she's finished training, she's gonna have to get a couple tune-up fights. Then she's gonna face you. In the meantime, she's getting older. Now, I'm not saying that 42 is old. I'm 45. I'm probably the youngest I've ever felt in my whole life. Okay, yes, you can grow backwards. Yes, you can get younger. Yes, you can get healthier. Yes, you can get fitter. Her body has muscle memory. She's gonna remember some of the things she did. She's not gonna have Roger Mayweather as a trainer, but she doesn't need to be trained anymore, pretty much, because she knows what the sport inside out. She knows what it is like. She knows what it takes when fights of that magnitude. So it's not like she just need to get up into physical shape, get herself mentally, spiritually, physically ready, and then she will be up there popping with you again. Okay, so it's not like it's gonna be that hard for her. I'm not saying, George Foreman did it at 42, 43. Hopkins retired at 50. Duran won his fight at 39. It's possible. Floyd Mayweather did his thing until he was 30, 38? Okay, he faced Conor McGregor at the age of 40. It's possible, okay, for her to come back. But my thing is, you got to make it worth her while to come back. Why should she just come back for no reason? She says she thinks she could beat you, and you took that to heart. And you felt that you need to face her, so you started calling her ass out. She wasn't calling you out. She was just expressing her opinion, which is something that any champion would say. I think I would beat him. Sugar Ray Leonard said he thinks he could beat Floyd. Of course, he was a dominant world champion. He's supposed to think like that. Okay, Floyd thinks he can beat all guys from all eras. He's supposed to think like that. That's why he's called TBE. He don't call himself TBE. Well, he says the money as well and the record breaking, but he don't call himself TBE because he thinks he's greater than Muhammad Ali and did more in the sport and beyond the sport than Ali. No, he said give Ali his thing because Ali when it comes to his power moves and the things he did in his time beyond boxing, he the greatest. He the greatest. But if I was a heavyweight and I was in the ring with Ali, I'd beat his ass. I'm better than him. I got more stuff I could do than Ali could do, and he's deficient in certain areas, and I would exploit that. I would beat him. That's what the best ever is. When Floyd said, I'm better than Sugar Ray Robinson, he is 100% correct. Everybody, you see, I'll put it this way, because a lot of y'all gonna get offended again, because Robinson was known for his technicality. A lot of y'all say that Sugar Ray Leonard and Floyd Mayweather and Sugar Ray Robinson did the same things. That's not true. It's not true. That Leonard could do the same things that Floyd did and Sugar Ray Robinson could do. In the general sense of the word, their approach was the same. They come from the same school of boxing. But Floyd could do a hell of a lot more things than Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Ray Robinson could do. But the only way for me to do that is to show you. So I'm going to show you because talk is cheap. I'm going to have to show you what this motherfucker could do in the ring and what they could do in the ring. But first I'm going to praise them. And I'm going to praise them and all of them so y'all will see I'm not a hater. I don't hate them. I don't put them down to raise up Floyd. That's bullshit. No, I will show you what Sugar Ray Robinson used to do in that ring. A lot of y'all say, well, it was really, really fast in the lighter weight class. First of all, that don't matter. Speed don't mean shit. Rhythm is everything. Timing is everything. But I'm going to show you he was the same fighter y'all saw on film because we got film of him from the Golden Gloves. We got film of him on Golden Gloves. And then the shaky cam shit that y'all say, oh, look how blistering fast he is. No, it's shaky cam. That's why he looks so fast. It's shaking up the fucking cam. If I shake up the fan like that, I look fast. Okay? It's shaky cam. All right? I know who the people were that he faced. And like I said, I have footage of him before the Charlie Fusaria fight. Okay? That's just for y'all to know. I know what Sugar Ray Robinson does in that ring. I know how to beat him. I know how to beat Sugar Ray Leonard. All right? There's a game plan to beat Sugar Ray Leonard. There's a game plan to beat Sugar Ray Robinson. With Sugar Ray Leonard, you got to go with a cerebral game plan as well. But he can be beat. And rather easily. For Floyd Mayweather. All right? Colonel Whitaker would beat Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm saying it definitive. He would beat him. And Mike McCallum would beat him. The game plan is easy. Hit and don't get hit. That's the game plan for Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard gets hit. You don't have to knock him out. He gets hit. And if you got good defense, he struggled with Floyd Mayweather Sr. And Floyd Mayweather Sr., I don't mean to disrespect him, but he ain't got that great a defense. He got good defense, but he ain't got that great a defense because, let me tell you why. Because a lot of y'all are going to say, well, he had a shell, Floyd had a shell. No, it's the decision-making. His decision-making is what made his defense softer. He had the shell, but defense is not just about, see, a lot of people don't understand a lot of things in boxing. Defense is not just about how you can block punches or dip from them, or it's also about how you utilize that. And I'm gonna tell you why Senior lost. One, because of his hand. She got a bad hand. That don't mean nothing. Floyd had a bad hand against Castillo. Castillo was a heavier hitter and everything. Floyd won the fight. Okay, no, that's not the reason. He beat what's this kid name? Carlos, the Mexican kid who was a world champion. Went on to become world champion. Carlos, whatever his name is. He broke both hands against Carlos. He still win. Why? Let me tell you why. So Floyd Mayweather Sr. tried to fight Sugar Ray Leonard in a machismo way. He shell up and he come at him. And it stayed right in front of him. You can't do that. You got to mix it up. Against a guy like Sugar Ray Leonard, you got to make him come to you. You got to make him come to you, set traps. Then you go to him at times. Okay? And how you go to him will depend because you got to distance control too. You got to distance control his ass. You can't be fighting him on the inside all the time, trying to show that you a tougher guy than him because you got more speed with your hands. Like I said, the decision making is why he lost that fight. He had a decent defense. Sugar Ray Leonard couldn't hit him flush until he figured out to pivot around him and then start landing some punches. This is what Duran think he could do against Mayweather. Mayweather would make a necessary adjustment though. Another thing that he did against Sugar Ray Leonard while he lost, he was using the shell, but he was straight up. What I mean by that, I say he's standing tall. He's not changing levels. He's not dipping below him. He's not making him miss. A la Pernell Whitaker, a la Floyd Mayweather, will make his ass miss and then come back with something. He didn't use the jab to the pit much. And he didn't change levels to use the jab. I could go on and on and on and on. What he did was deficient that Floyd would not do against Leonard. Not to mention, he wasn't as, what's the word I'm looking for? Coordinated and tight a fighter as Floyd was. In fact, there's a reason. We have a clip of Little Floyd facing him. Little Floyd facing Big Floyd. Little Floyd was just, Little Floyd was something. He was just a kid, and he was putting it on his father. He was putting it on him. That's the kid. All right? And Senior was a hell of a fighter. He fought Marlon Starling, I think it was twice. Marlon Starling was a great defensive fighter. He never beat Marlon Starling because Marlon Starling, again, had great defense. Okay? That's why I said, you asked me who are the toughest fights for Mayweather to face. And I'm going to tell you, the toughest fights that Mayweather would face are the following guys. Mike McCallum at 154. That's a tough-ass fight. Pernell Whitaker at 147, 140, 135 would always be a tough-ass fight because Pernell will turn you in the circle all the time. Those are tough-ass fights for Floyd. Some people say Roberto Duran, and other people say, well, Floyd would outbox Roberto Duran like Kirkland Land did. I'm going to say this. I'm going to put it to you this way. I'll put it to you this way. I think it would be a tougher fight for Floyd, Roberto Duran. This is just my personal opinion. I could break it down why I say what I say, but first, let me just talk about it. I think it would be a tougher fight, Roberto Duran versus Floyd, than Julio Cesar Chavez versus Floyd. I think Floyd would have an easier time with Julio Cesar Chavez, and Chavez bring it. He'd be on you all the time, like how Cotto was on him. But I think that Duran actually had a better game plan than Chavez did. Now, Chavez versus Duran is a totally different story. But Chavez versus Floyd, and again, Chavez, he knocked out Floyd's uncle. He made him quit, right? Roger Mayweather thought Chavez had a hell of a chin. But Floyd has fought a lot of guys with a hell of a chin. Floyd has faced a lot of guys that he couldn't stop. Unlike Uncle Roger, who he counted on his right hand to stop people or drop them. So when it wasn't happening with Chavez, Roger was off-putted by that. Whereas Floyd would not be off-putted by that. He has the footwork to make Chavez look stupid, like how Whitaker did it to him. So I think that Chavez actually would be an easier fight, if there's such a thing as an easier fight. You have to prep for it. But I think Floyd would beat him more convincingly than a Duran. I think Duran had a lot of tricks. Okay, Duran was a guy with pull counters. He'd come in with, and the thing about it is he would come in either off a feint or a jab. So Duran was a guy that he had a lot more complexity to him, and he loved to infight. Duran's thing was infighting. That was his thing. He was just doing everything to get on the inside of you. And I think he would get to the inside of Floyd and have Floyd having to work the inside. Now, Floyd has angles on you, which make it kind of hard for you to he really mastered the art of the shell. He mastered the art of positioning himself on you. And he was very good at pivot work. So it would have made it very hard for Duran to really get the shots that he really wanted to, because when Duran gets position, Floyd would get position and nullify him. And that's the thing Duran is not seeing. He's seeing that Floyd do the shell, but Floyd do a lot more than just the shell. All right? Floyd do a lot more than the shell. And so it would be a tough fight for him. I think Marcos McDonough versus Floyd Mayweather is a good example of what Duran would do to Mayweather, because Maidana and Duran have the similar kind of mindset, similar kind of approach to how they fight. Um, and I think Duran would have to go super duper dirty to try and get a chance against Mayweather. But of course, Mayweather, considers Roberto Duran one of the top great fighters of all time, if not one of the greatest fighters of all time, aside from himself. And so he really values Duran because Duran came from lightweight all the way up to super middleweight. I think he fought at super middleweight, touched down at super middleweight, light heavyweight for a bit, and then came back down to middleweight. That was his thing. But I just say that Duran was a big dude, though. A lot of people don't understand that. Like Mayweather's a 140 pounder. He started off a super featherweight, but he's a 140 pounder. Duran is a 160 pounder. 160 pounder, okay? That's what Duran really was. So, he started off at super featherweight, I think it is. Went up to lightweight rather quickly. But Duran was really a middleweight. That's what he fell out to be. That's what he really was. That's why he could give Marvin Hagler the fight that he gave him. And that was his first fight at 160. Motherfucker was crazy. But Duran, I think, was a bigger fighter than Leonard. Leonard was a 154 pounder. That's really where he was at. Hearns was the biggest of them all. He really is a 168 pounder. That's where he performed the best. Hagler was a 160 pounder, right? So actually, Hearns was bigger than Hagler, but Hearns was most comfortable. Hearns was most comfortable at 168. So he really drained down to be a welter. He was sucked dry to be a welterweight. And it showed. He couldn't take a body punch really good. And I keep on saying this over and over to people, but they just don't understand what I'm saying. He didn't take body punches very well. And also, he started to fatigue as the rounds went on. So the longer you go in a fight, he fatigued. And that's a sign of dehydration. He was so gaunt. He was so drained that and we know he started off at lightweight and the amateurs, but then he wasn't developed. He didn't get into being a man. And as he was getting bigger, that's what happened with Pacquiao. Pacquiao at flyweight, he lost the fight because he was dehydrated. He was too small. He was too big, for the weight class. He went up to super bantamweight after that. That's why he got knocked out. And that was what happened with Hearns at 147, 160 when he got knocked out by Hagler. But with 168, you couldn't knock his ass out. He was solid. Hearns never got stopped after that. I think he fought some dude. I forgot what his name is. A cruiser, but he was injured or whatever, and they had to stop the fight. But Hearns was a big motherfucker. He was drained down, and that's the problem with being so big. When you're that big, you could get drained trying to make weight to lower weight class. That's why people talk about Kell Brook. He can't make 147 no more. Well, Hearns was fighting on fumes. I mean, when you look at Thomas Hearns' career, it's remarkable in the sense that this big dude who really should be fighting a higher weight class was even making 147. You know what I'm saying? It was incredible. I mean, in that respect, That's why I said Floyd would knock him out. He would actually stop Thomas Hearns at 147. Now, if Floyd could have made 168, or let's just say the 168 Hearns faced Floyd, he'd have all kinds of problems. I don't know if Floyd would. He might be able to beat him, but that Hearns is a problem for anybody. That Hearns could do it all, and that was his most comfortable weight. Miguel Cotto got stopped by Manny Pacquiao because he was weight drained. Now, a lot of people say, well, weight drain is an excuse. Now, the fact of the matter is, because he was weight drained, I'm not saying he didn't lose the fight. I didn't say he didn't agree to the agreement. I'm just saying because he was weight drained, that's not the best Miguel Cotto that Pacquiao faced. That's all I'm saying. Okay? That's the fact of the matter. That's a fact. I'm not using it as an excuse for why he lost. I'm saying he wasn't the best Miguel Cotto. That's all I'm saying. All right? And that's Detroit King and Company Limited. Because if the guy's weight drained, he's not going to be what he was in weight drained. Sergey Kovalev was overworked. He won't weight train. He was overworked, right? He had 2 back-to-back fights before he faced Canelo. He was telling the truth. Now, if it's an excuse for why you lost, hell no. You lost. You agreed to having to fight that soon. That's on you. Okay? Deontay Wilder was also overtrained when he waited to face Tyson Fury. That's a fact. But did he lose to Tyson Fury? Fuck yeah, he lost. Not an excuse for why he lost, but it wasn't the best Deontay Wilder that Tyson Fury faced. And it's okay. Still beat his ass, right? That's a fact. They'll go down in history. Diego Corrales was weight drained when he faced Floyd Mayweather. Everybody knew he wanted to go up to lightweight. He was not in shape. He wasn't as in shape as he should be. He did come back and fight at super featherweight against the Cuban kid. I forgot what his name is. And was powerful and everything. So, but at the time when he faced Mayweather, he wasn't the best Diego Corrales. Come on now. People, let's be honest now. Let's be honest with it. He wasn't the best Diego Corrales. All right? But, having said all of that, he fought him and he lost. And it looked spectacular. It's what it is. All right? So, anyway, back to what I was saying. So, the point anyway I was making was that your star power, you can't pay for that. If somebody worked hard to get that star power, and you are just now on the rise, you may be a better boxer than them, but that doesn't make you the A side. And once the person being reasonable, they should be the A side. If they have built a legacy and their name is known all through the world, you got to pay for that. That's why Mayweather gets so much money for his performances. 1, he's undefeated. 2, he's fought all the legends of his era. He come back into boxing, he's gonna get paid a ton to come back into the sport. It's just what it is. And then he has the legacy of the Mayweather name, you know, the Roger Mayweather, the Floyd Mayweather Sr. He's got the legacy of that name as well. All of that goes into it. He's known worldwide. He can't be going up to pay chump change, and just because Errol Spence or one of these guys, Terrence Crawford is pound for pound #1 in the world, he gonna be the A side to do it. Come on. So the same thing, Claressa Shields. It don't make no damn sense. You telling me you want to call Layla Ali in and she ain't gonna be the A side. She's done. Her career speaks for itself. You know, she's never been defeated. So you can't. You just come up on the scene. You can't be just rolling in there saying that you gonna call the shots and you gonna no, it doesn't work like that. You know, yeah, you're gonna have to find the money, but you're not the A side. Now I understand because she's saying I gotta find the money. I gotta make it happen. You know, so therefore I should be the A side because I'm paying you. You're not paying me. And then she could turn around and say, no. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. My name is much bigger than yours. You're gonna pay me for my name. I'm the A side. And if I feel like I want to call some other shots, I can call them. Because you want to face me, I don't want to face you. I never said that I want to face you. I never said that, I need you. You need me. I don't need you. I knew just fine. Right? So Krista just can't use that excuse that Layla, she's trying to price herself up. No. She worth that. You're not worth that, but she's worth that. But if you beat her, you're going to now be worth what she's worth. So use your brain, use your mind, and try to make it happen. If she called $2 million and somehow you was able to make that fight, you got only got $500,000, she got $2 million. Guess what? When you beat her, guess what you are valued at now? You're valued at $2 million and up. So you have to use your brain, use your mind. You say you want to have record paydays for women's boxing? Okay, this fight gonna give a record payday. You try to get that money, make it happen. Because if you beat Claressa Shields, if you beat Layla Ali, you got the Ali name in your pocket. And now, from here on in, because you beat the great Layla Ali like Floyd Baker, Oscar De La Hoya, you call the shots on money. Now you can call record paydays. Now you should be paid. If you say, man, I need to be paid $1 million every single fight from here on in, you call it. Because you beat a $2 million. So the higher she goes, if you beat her, is the higher you can go. And you see, but you know, a lot of people can't understand that. Layla Ali, people were interested in women's boxing because of Layla Ali. So, I mean, I spent an hour and 40 minutes just breaking it down to Claressa Shields so she'll understand, and her promoter and her manager. If you can't cough up the money, then you're gonna have to chill with this Layla Ali thing. But you gotta cough up the money. It's on you to cough up the money, not on her, because she don't care. She don't need you. She's doing just fine with her company and everything, but she just want to come in and collect some extra dough. And she's coming to win. She's not coming to lay down. She's coming to win. She beat your ass. She just shows that she's more of a legend. And she shows she can beat Iron Wolf. Because if she can beat you, she can beat Iron Wolf. That's what that would mean. So if I was Claressa Shields, man, I mean, you got to make it happen. You got to make it happen. If you can't make it happen, then you got to shut up. Stop talking about it. All right? Stop talking about it. You said you don't want no sparring, none of that shit. Okay, fine. But if you can't make that fight happen, you should stop talking about it. Okay? And I think Layla Ali's being reasonable when she says she wants to have the majority of the split. She's being reasonable in the sense that, I mean, a 60-40 is a reasonable split. 70-30 a little bit pushing it because she hasn't been boxing in a while. So we don't know what she got. But 60-40 is a good split, man. It's a good split. 60-40, 55-45. They're all good splits. And she calling for the lion's share. You know, if you can pay her $1 million, you know, because you got to pay her more than she had for her most lucrative fight. So if she had been paid, and remember, you got to cater for inflation. Yeah, all of that. So if her most lucrative fight, she had, what, $500,000 or whatever she got, you got to pay her more because she's coming out of retirement. She fought. She had a career. This should be her most lucrative fight. So because you got to understand, when you've built a resume behind you, you have to be paid more, especially if you've been beating everybody. You show that you're unbeatable. So she got all that resume behind her. And then, man, you can't avoid this shit. I don't care what you say. She's an Ali. You gotta pay for that shit. That's just branding. And she proves she's an Ali by her resume. So you gotta cough it up. You're gonna have to cough that shit up. You might have to give her the lion's share of the money. It's all good. If you give her, let's say 60-40 split, and let's say it's $1 million you guys playing with. It seems like you're playing with 1.2 million. All right, 1.2 million, right? 60-40 split, which means what? It means that 60% of 1.2 million, all right, is, what is it? 2/3, 3/5. 5 into 12 goes 2, 5 and 20 go 4. 140,000 by 3. 3. Two. 5 and 12 go 2. Yeah. I know that was 2 remainder. Yeah, 700. You gotta pay $720,000. $720,000. Right, and you keep the rest. You're gonna have to get the smaller money. 720 by what? You can get 480. You can be at 480. She getting 720. That's what it'll shape up to be. If you can get a bigger pot, if you can get close to $2 million, we're looking at 1 point. What is it? Yeah, 1.44 million, and you will have 960,000, 1.4 million. Yeah. So you can double the pot, that would be great. But I guess you guys don't have that kind of money to do that kind of thing. So Layla should give you some slack so you could actually make the fight. You know what I mean? She could actually make the fight with her. She give you some slack. But that's a fight that should be a $2 million fight, in which $2.4 million fight in which she gets like 1.4 something, I don't know, and you get close to $1 million. That's the value of that fight, I think. Y'all should get paid to do a fight like that. Maybe I'm exaggerating it too much, maybe, because y'all none of y'all ever seen $1 million, so you definitely gonna see it in your lifetime. But I mean, I don't know what you get paid per fight, but if you get anywhere near those kinds of numbers to start with, the lower end I'm talking about, the 480,000 and the 720,000. If you can get anything near that, then you'll have to double it. So you almost get $1 million for that fight, or maybe you get $1 million. She gets 1 point something million. But at the end of the day, y'all have to cough up like about $3 million for that fight, plus advertising and all that. It could go up high. But that's the kind of fight I'm seeing. It's going to be very lucrative because she never lost. If she had lost, then it would have been a little bit different, but she never lost. So the value only goes up. Any fight she has is only going to go up because she's never lost. You never lost, but you ain't got them kind of fights. You don't have as many fights. You don't have that reputation yet. You don't have the name either. So that's what I got to say about that. Anyways, I'm what you need. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and donate via Western Union or MoneyGram. I went at length about different things. I'm going to go into Mayweather versus Sugar Ray Robinson. Why I believe Mayweather would beat Robinson. I don't have a problem saying it. I believe he beat him. I'm going to show you guys how. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to show you because, like I said, I want to show you guys how boxing as a sport has evolved. A lot of y'all just don't understand that concept at all. And you have to actually see it to believe it, because there's a lot of stuff in boxing you guys just don't understand. You really don't. You just don't understand the sport. And so I'm just breaking it down. I'm breaking it down so you guys would appreciate that. You know what I mean? You know, Joe Louis, he took chicken feed to face Rocky Marciano. So you guys can use that as an example. He didn't get paid a whole lot to face Rocky Marciano. He agreed to that. But he needed the money. Taxation came down on him, and he needed to pay the IRS. This era is not the same. Layla Ali left the sport of boxing on her own terms. She left on top. Andre Ward left on top. Okay, we got a couple fighters. Ann Wolf left on top. Okay, there are a lot of fighters that left the sport that were smart people, man. Everybody always talk about Mayweather and Andre Ward. No, they had a couple of them that left on top. All right, they chose to leave the sport of boxing. But see, a lot of people just don't know shit about boxing, so they won't remember that. I'm gonna catch you guys later on what you need. What you need. That's right. Not necessarily what you want, but what you need. Peace. I'm out.